Hey, well, let's have some coffee, okay? Here. There you go. Cheers. This is my second cup. Let me sit. Okay. There we go. Okay. Are nomads social? Do nomads help each other out? Well, I have a letter here from Eric. Hey, Eric. Hey. Have you or do you know if van lifers who have helped or were helped with their vehicles that are stuck in the boondocks? Ooh. Just wonder if people offer their skills to help, especially for those with low income. Are van campers more or less social? Thank you, Eric. Well, I'm going to say, in my humble opinion, some are and some aren't. It's sort of like van people are sort of the same as anybody else. We're all different. There's a variety, right? I do know that Hawa, maybe if they were really in a fix and they contacted Hawa, which is Home on Wheels Association, yeah. It was started, I believe Bob Wells is still, he's not as involved in it anymore, the same with Sue Ann Carlson, but I do believe they're still on the board. It's a nonprofit. And it was pretty much started with Bob Wells and Sue Ann Carlson. They're probably still very good friends. Best buddies, you know? So I believe it was started with them. It's a nonprofit. And if they contacted them, they might be able to help. When you ask about needing help, maybe with solar, maybe a build out, maybe trying to fix something in their rigs, I do know that in Quartzsite, there is coffee. This is my second cup. I drink coffee and then all of a sudden, and then I'm talking, so I've got air going in an unusual way. I think that's probably what happens. Okay, let me take another sip and slow down. What is the name of that? I forget because I haven't been in Quartzsite for 2-3 years now. Well, they come, it's usually mid-January, and they kind of set themselves up in a certain area on BLM land out in Quartzsite. And yeah, people just come in and they donate their time. I mean, they're putting up solar. It's a big gathering. It's like a fun thing. And at night people are playing drums and they're playing music. And it's pretty much, if you know the name of that, I know some of you are nomads and you go, I forget the name of it. I'm not going to look it up. So yeah, it's something van build or something like that. But yeah, so they do help out. There are things that help out. Now let's do your scenario, Eric, where they're out in the boondocks and they're low income and they're stuck. They're probably gonna have to call their AAA to tow them in. And in the meantime, they could be getting a hold of Howa. I don't know. I've never really dealt with them before. I know that they do give away minivans and things like that, build out minivans. So, yeah, they may have to just have AAA. And I will mention AAA isn't that expensive. It's like to get premium, which I have, because I really are, it's a deluxe or premium, the highest one, because I want them to be able to tow me, if needed, 200 miles. Yeah. And if I did break down in Flagstaff, believe me, I would be towed out, because I do not like, the prices are so high here. And I got an estimate on my one lock when it wasn't working, and it was like $1,000 for a lock, which really, when I did go to Tucson, I asked them about it, and they said no. They said no, it wouldn't have cost that at all. So I really, I pray my van doesn't break down here in Flagstaff. So yeah. So I do suggest AAA, because you can get towed, and they recommend shops, auto repair shops that are decent, and they've approved them in some way, right? So that's what I do. I use them, and it's not that expensive. If you are so low income and you do not have an emergency fund, yeah, that's a tough one. That's really tough, because I really don't know what the answer is for you. And if you don't have a credit card, or you don't have, and you can't make payments on a card that you could do quick, go buy another van and switch it out. Because sometimes if you're driving an older van anyways and something really goes wrong with it, you might as well just get another one, especially if it's so serious. Yeah. But if it's minor, it's good to have a credit card so you can put it out and then make payments on it if you don't have the cash. I like to keep the cash in my bank, and I like to keep it going. Whoops, I noticed something here. It's just a chit chat. I need more tape. Duct tape is the best. I know. I don't use it. I use Gorilla Tape. I use black Gorilla Tape. Even if you get white Gorilla Tape or gray Gorilla Tape, it's different. It really is. I like black. It really is. It's good stuff. Yeah. So my solar panels hooked up on, and that's been up there now. Well, it's been up there nice ever since I bought this like 4 years ago. Yeah. So it's still there. I do check it, and I need to check it coming up. I will mention, okay, I'm going to just switch gears. Sorry about that, Eric. I'm going to switch gears. I did have I had a comment that said, and it was about me really not being a van life channel anymore. I'm more, there's my thought. I'm not a van life channel. I'm a thinking channel in a van. I'm just a girl who lives in a minivan. I have for 8 years. I'm minivan lady, and I've lived in my minivan for 8 years now. 8.5 going on. And I don't just talk about van life. I've mentioned this, so I'll just be brief. I am really just a person who lives in a minivan, but that doesn't mean, so this is more like, this is my studio. It's sort of like, if you think about Joe Rogan or any of those, and although I know I'm not them, but, they don't change the scenery. They're just talking with their microphones, and they're just talking. And they've got the same backdrop. Well, just think of me that way. This is my backdrop. It's a little colorful, and it's in a minivan. This is my studio. I'm building an empire in here, writing books and scripts and doing videos and doing graphic arts. Yeah, this is just my little studio. But the comment said, well, and this was on that video where it said I'm not a really van life channel anymore. And he goes, well, I'd like to see you be outside and go outside. Well, Joe Rogan doesn't have to go outside, does he? Or Megyn Kelly or some of these shows. where it's just more of a variety show, talking show. Well, I will be outside soon. I promise I will. I'm getting ready to go camping. And so I'll be outside, but right now I'm just not outside. Yeah. I don't really, the park system isn't all that great. When I was in Tucson, I was outside. Yeah, I was outside and I would talk to you outside. But here, the park system, I don't really like it. It's more for hiking, and I'm not into hiking right now, okay? And yeah, they don't really have the same setup. So I just wanted to explain that. This is me, and I'm in my van, and I'm drinking coffee. I made you coffee, and this is where it's going to be for the next 2 weeks. Got it? So we're just having a little chit-chat. I mean, I promised you, what time are we on here? I promised you that I would do a video. I would just chat with you once a day. Some of you really requested it, so here I am, okay? So let's see what, I want to remind what did Eric ask me? So, do they help out? Okay, yeah. I would imagine if you have friends and you called them and you were really close friends, that they will come and help you. Yeah. When I traveled with Paul, he came and rescued me 2 or 3 times, where I called him and I said, oh my gosh, my car something was going on with my van. And he rushed right over there, even when it was far away. Thank you for that. And then you say, are van campers more or less sociable? It's just a variety of things. I'm social, but not right now. I'm not really social right now. I'm not in the real world. I'm really not. I'm very solo, and I'm very secluded, and I've isolated myself a little bit. I think over the past year I really have. But guess what? I mean, I've been writing I've been getting so many books written. I've been getting so much more done. But I do know that, one of my best friends, and she's a female. Somebody had mentioned, because I wrote The Vicious Female, that, you should get some female friends. Well, of course I have female friends. Of course I do. But they're vetted and they're long-standing, and I know who they are, and they know who I am. So a couple years ago, I will mention a couple years ago, maybe going on 3, time just marches on. I don't know time anymore. Yeah. Does it even exist, right? Well, I met somebody up here in Flagstaff, and I saw her at Planet Fitness. And she came walking up to me with this big grin on her face. And she goes, I watch you. I can't believe it's you. So she seemed really cool. She was very intelligent. And so I let her into my life. I was, because I got burned once before, about 8 months before that. And, well, as it turned out, her intentions weren't pure for meeting me and wanting to hang out with me. And, yeah. So I'm very cautious now. I think after the second time, I'm like, wow. Okay, I think I'm just going to stick to myself. I have the friends that I've made, and they're vetted. They have stuck with me through thick and thin. And, yeah, so I think there's degrees of being social. I had 2 meetups in Quartzsite, and those were fun. But I met some good friends there. But basically now, I think, I'm going to guess that in anybody's life, there's an ebb and flow to everything. Sometimes they're sociable, sometimes then they want to go off by themselves. Sociable, and yeah, it goes on and off. So, our van lifer is sociable? Oh, absolutely. But probably not all the time. The same as somebody living in a house. Yeah. I think it's good to have a good network. Like wherever Max is, we text each other at least once a week. Where are you? What are you doing? I like to do with Max, the where's Waldo? Only it's where's Max? Where's Max at right now? Yeah. And, I've got friends. I've got online friends that I've met through my channel, and we've been friends ever since I've had my YouTube channel for 6.5 years now. So a couple of them, we've been friends for 6.5 years online. They've been through me through the ups and the downs, and they've encouraged me. So those are real true friends. Yeah. I'm not opposed to making new friends, but I have been just a little bit cautious. I think it's because of the YouTube channel. Sometimes you don't know what their true intentions are. Does that make sense? Yeah. Well, it's a big deal. And well, thank you for that comment, Eric. I really appreciate that. Yeah. So let's see please subscribe, and I do appreciate that, because I lost so many subscribers over the past 3 weeks. Whew, yeah. I'm glad I did, because they obviously weren't interested in what I had to say, and they were judging me very harshly. So yeah, bye. Bye. Let's see, what book I'm gonna say it. Yeah. Blackout Nomads. Seriously. That's the script I'm writing right now. I'm turning it into a movie script. Yeah. I'm getting there. There's so many rules to it. Whew. Yeah. So, Blackout Nomads, I'm telling you, it's good. I mean, it's good enough to definitely be a movie, right? Now, I do have one, let me find it here. Sorry about that. This is from Scuba Travels. Okay. Woo, hi. Lee, I viewed this a few days ago and had to come back to comment. See, this is what the Blackout Nomads is about. I centered it around what's been going on with the domicile, with Florida, things like that, their new laws. I have my domicile in Florida, since that was the last state where I had a home. Although I have not heard from the DMV yet, listen to this. I received a letter today from Wells Fargo, my bank. It states, I must provide them with a physical residential address instead of a private mailbox, or I will no longer be able to access my accounts. Can you believe it? They can keep me from my money. I don't have an address or children or even a reliable friend. I feel comfortable asking to accept my mail. Not sure what to do now, but I will be moving my CD accounts and Capital One ASAP. I think we need you to be an advocate in Washington on our behalf. Well, yeah, I'm happy to do it. Well, I do believe that this book brings it out because it's centered around this, where it's growing among a lot of states. And they're locking nomads out. It's sort of Orwellian, but just moving in that direction. Part 2 will be the book. The part 2, I'm going to be doing that as soon as the script is over, will be about that, where it's a little bit more Orwellian. Yeah, it's really, it's like 5 years later. I know. Well, okay, you say that you need for your mailing address. Here's the deal. If you do use a P.O. box number, of course, they're going to flag that. But what's happening is that Florida now says even if you have a regular mail forwarding, you're using a company that does let you use that they normally let you use that as your address because it's set up that way, or even RV parks. Even if you're parked in an RV park, they've got that flag too. So what they're doing is putting your driver's license, your license plate number as your address on your driver's license. Oh my gosh. Yes, it's in Florida. It's happened. And so then what happens is you get flagged. They see, well, that's not a regular address. TSA, if you're flying on the airplanes, they'll pull you aside and flag you. Your banks, people are getting locked out of their banks. Yeah, so that's just a little side note on that. Yeah, right. So that's happening. And I mention that because of my book, Blackout Nomads. It's centered around that. I really get it. It's paperback and ebook. It's not on Audible yet. But there is, well, when I sell my script, it'll be in a movie. Okay. Alrighty. This is going over. Yeah. Cheers. Thanks for spending a little bit of time with me. Coffee. And I'm really not going to edit this much, because the reason I'm doing this, I mentioned, is because I've been so busy. But you want to hear from me. You want to have a little chit chat every day. So here's your chit chat. And this is why I'm doing it this way in my studio. Okay? Okay. I love you guys. Blackout Nomads. Subscribe. See you tomorrow. Bye.